Hello guys, welcome. So today we will be discussing the theory of demand, wherein in the earlier class we have discussed two important rather, the determinants of demand, that is the price of the commodity and the price of related goods. Now today we will be discussing the third determinant of demand, that is income of the households. Now you know that generally when there is rise in income, we do purchase more of a commodity, because it is the general tendency of the people to purchase more of a commodity when the income rises. But there is an exception to the same, because it may not be equally applicable in all the cases. For example, if we take the case of inferior goods. Now first of all, you must know what are inferior goods. Inferior goods are the low quality goods which are usually consumed by the people belonging to the poor section of the society. And the examples of inferior goods are jowar, bajra, coarse clothes and other coarse grains. And these goods are usually bought by the people only when their income is very low. And in this case, the negative income effect applies. What is negative income effect? That with the rise in income, people purchase less of these goods, as they will prefer to substitute the same by the better one when the income of the household increases. See here, what we find here, that in case of inferior goods, negative income effect applies. See in the given diagram that along y-axis we are measuring income in rupees and demand for coarse clothes along x-axis. Now suppose when your income is OY, at this level of income, suppose you are purchasing OQ units of inferior goods. Now when your income rises from OY to OY1, with the rise in income, the demand increases to OQ1 initially. Why? Because still your income is too low to substitute the same by the better ones. As a result, with the rise in income, initially you purchase more of the inferior goods. But when the income level rises to say OY2, now what you find here, with the rise in income, the demand for inferior goods reduces to OQ2. So what we find, that there is an inverse relationship between income and demand for inferior goods. That means with the rise in income, the demand for inferior goods fall. So that is your negative income effect. Now we are coming to normal goods. Now what are normal goods? Normal goods are the normal necessities of life, like better quality of clothes, the food grains like cereals, pulses, rice, wheat, vegetables, etc. So these are the normal essentials of life. In case of these goods, what we find, as the income of the household increases, the demand for these goods increases. But after a certain point, the demand for these goods becomes more or less static. Static means it does not respond to the changes in the income of the household. That means there may be an infinitesimally small change in the demand for these goods with the rise in income after a certain level. Now, in the given diagram you find that along y-axis we are measuring income in rupees, and whereas Along x-axis we are measuring demand for rice. Now when the income is OY, you are purchasing OQ units of rice. When income rises to OY1, the demand increases to OQ1. But thereafter, when the income rises to OY2, the demand does not respond to the change in income. Say for example, in a family, there is a requirement of 25 kgs of rice a month. Now when the income increases, a person may increase its consumption from say 5 kgs to 10 kgs to 15 kgs, and at most he will purchase 25 kgs of rice. But thereafter, if the income increases, he will be reluctant to purchase more of rice. So, in that case, it becomes constant after a given rise in the level of income. Now, from here what we can say that in this case, positive income effect applies. That is, with the rise in income, the demand for these goods increases. Now, the third one is luxuries. Luxuries means luxury goods are those goods which makes our life more comfortable. Now see, it includes what? Luxurious cars, ACs, washing machine, etc. that are used by households. In this case, what we find that as the income of the households increases, with the increase in income, the demand for these goods increases. And it continues to increase with the rise in income. Why? Because the more we are richer, the more luxurious life we try to lead, and as a result, with the rise in income, the demand for these goods continues to rise. Now, we are coming to the next point, that is the taste and preferences of the people. Now, when there is any change in taste or habits or fashion or the preferences of the people that do affect the demand for a particular commodity. Say if the taste and preferences of the people becomes favorable to the product, say for example, that you now like to have more of burgers. You are passionate about eating burger. In that case, what will be the effect? Whatever be its price, you will have the same in more quantities at the going price. So at the same price, the demand for burgers will increase because now you are passionate about having more of burgers. So there will be a change in demand resulting in a rightward shift in the demand curve. But on the other hand, if the taste and preference of the people become unfavorable to the product, what will be the behavior of the individual? He will buy less of the commodity at the same price. So in that case, there will be a decrease in demand and the demand curve will shift towards left at the same price. So in that case, what will be the effect? See here, we are considering here we are discussing the taste and preferences of the people. Tastes and preferences of the people. See in the given diagram, suppose this is the demand curve which is negatively sloping downward to the right because of the inverse relationship that exists between price and quantity demanded. Now suppose OP is the price and at this price an individual buys OQ units of the commodity. Now, when the consumer's preference for the said product goes favorable to them, in that case, what will be the effect? The demand curve will shift towards right. That is D1, D1. And at the same price, an individual will buy more of a commodity, representing increase in demand. Now, contrary to that, if the consumer's behavioral pattern changes, that is, if the product becomes unfavorable to the consumer, that means the consumer now does not prefer to consume that particular commodity anymore. In that case, there will be a decrease in demand and the demand curve will shift towards left. That is D2, D2. And at the same price, the quantity demanded decreases to OQ2 from OQ. So, this is what? This is decrease in demand. Now, we are coming to the next point, that is the size and composition of population. Now, you must remember that the size of population also influences the demand for a particular commodity. Now, if the density of population or the thickness of population in a given region is more, that means if it is densely populated, definitely the demand for a particular commodity will be more at the same price. Like for example, in Kolkata, the density of population, unlike Australia, is much more. So, the demand for goods will be greater. But whereas in Australia, we know that the number of families living per square kilometer is around 15 families. So, the demand for the said commodity will be less at the same price. So, this is how the size of population influences the demand for a particular commodity. Now, we are coming to the composition of population. Composition here means the mixture of population. If in a given population the proportion of children are more, then the demand for such goods as baby food, toys or chocolates will be greater. And accordingly, at the said price, the demand for these goods will increase. And contrary to that, if the proportion of aged people in a given population is more, then what will be the effect? Naturally, the aged people who use spectacles, artificial tooth, sticks, etc., the demand for such goods will be more. So, in that case, the demand for the said goods at the same price will increase, leading to an increase in demand for the goods. Now, we are coming to the next point, that is the distribution of income. If in a given population, the distribution of income is equitable, or if the income is distributed more equitably among the given population, the demand for goods will be more. But contrary to that, if the income is inequitably distributed, or that means, say, a particular person is earning only rupees 10,000 a month, and whereas another section or group of people get salary above rupees 1 lakh. So naturally, the people having more income will be in a position to have such goods which the people belonging to the poor section having very low level of income will not be in a position to afford the same. So in that case, what you find that if the income is more equitably distributed, then the overall demand for goods and services will increase. And contrary to that, if the income is inequitably distributed, then the demand for goods will be less. So, beside these factors which we have discussed, there are other factors also which influences the demand for a commodity. Like, for example, the weather conditions. Now, you have observed that during winter season, the demand for winter dresses, that is woolen sweaters, then leather jackets, etc. increases. Okay, so in that case, the demand for such goods during winter will rise. But on the other hand, the demand for such items, that is the clothes which we usually use during winter seasons, will not find market for it during the summer seasons. So, the weather conditions also influences the demand for a particular commodity. Now, we are coming to the future price expectations. Now, you have seen that we are going through a pandemic situation. Now, during the first lockdown, what was the position here? When the government of India declared lockdown, we observed that there was a panic among the people, and every people started rushing to shops expecting that either the goods will not be available in the coming future or the prices may rise abruptly. So, expecting that the prices are likely to rise in future, they started purchasing more, though the prices which were prevailing today in the market was higher. So in that case, what do you find? That though the prices are higher, the demand is still more because of the expectation of the buyers that the prices are likely to rise in future or the goods may not be available in the near future. So here also we find that the demand for a commodity is definitely affected by the future expectations of the consumers. Now, the government policy, definitely the changes in government policies do affect the demand for a particular commodity. Say for example, if the taxes are increased by the government on various goods, what will be the impact on its demand? The demand for the said commodity will decline. Say for example, that the government has increased the taxes on, say for example, the cars. It is 28% approximately. So what will be the impact on the demand for cars in the market? Naturally, it will have a sharp decline because of the increase in taxes by the government. And contrary to that, if the government provides subsidies, what will be the impact? It will reduce the price of the product and thereby it will increase the overall demand for the product in the market. So with this, the determinants of demand is complete. I hope that you have enjoyed the session with me, and I will request you to subscribe my channel and to get notifications on a regular basis. I will request you to put the bell icon so that you get regular notifications. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day ahead.